beats a zero.
We make everything look good, including being overweight. So, scientifically, you cannot drink alkaline water and it makes your cells alkalytic.
The closer you are to nature, the healthier you'll be.
All right. Happy Saturday, everyone. I am Carolyn, and you are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Alyssa Palmer, hello. I see you. Good morning to you. We have some great subjects lined up for you this morning. Today, we are talking about latest painless medical examinations, processes affecting food nutrient content, and which veggies are eaten best raw, and then sugar fuels tumor growth. We are talking about all those things this morning. Thank you all so much for joining us. Dr. Zarif, go ahead and join me here on stage so we can get it started. Grand Rising to you. How are you?
Grand Rising, doing very well. Thank you. How about you? How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Fantastic. That's fine. Okay, so we have a lot to go over today, Carolyn. So we'll get it started. Before I get started here, I want to thank everybody that if you, especially those that are transitioning from a regular meat diet, and I really want to commend you because I know it's very, very difficult. To some people, it feels like that's impossible, but we're really working hard to get you the information that you can use right away. Not This isn't something that we'll say that you have to work on building up, except for the habits themselves. So we really want to thank you. Remember, mark your calendars for March the 21st, Saturday, 8 a.m. We're going to have the wonderful Dr. James Thompson will be here, and we'll be going over some really important information that will help you with your cravings.
Hmm.
And that's going to be just absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
Um, we also have other things that we want to talk to you about, but Carolyn will definitely share those things with you as we go along. Thank you for being here. I think this over, I'm just looking over here on Instagram, and I think we're having technical difficulties there. But
Hmm.
in the meantime, what we want to do is we want to talk about some of the things that we can do something about today. Now,
Yes.
the one of the things before I get started, Kara, is there anything that you want to share with any shout outs?
Well, I was just going to say that I was going to mention to you that Instagram seems like it has something going on, and you already noticed that. But we are Facebook. We are on Facebook. We are on Facebook, and we are on YouTube. YouTube is Dr. Farid Zarif. That is the YouTube channel that you will find us on. Just want to say hello to Yolanda Rogers. Hey, 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 welcome. Good morning to you. Good morning, blessings. Big Mama Dearborn from Dearborn, Michigan. She says, "What up, though?" And I say, "What up, though?" to you. Hello, Yolanda. Thank you so much for joining us. But yes, we can just continue on, Dr. Zarif. If you have started already, then Instagram, it probably won't connect. So that's fine. That's why we have different choices.
That's true. So let's go ahead and get started. And one of the things I want to get started with is let's talk about the latest painless medical examinations. This is really important because, believe it or not, there are many people to this day, people that have been through a lot of things, people who have been married, grandchildren, graduated, on and on, that they've done many things to update their knowledge, and they're rolling with the changes of society and what the world is doing, and how to go about keeping up with it, or whatever decisions you make with that pace. However, there are still too many of us that don't understand that there are some other alternatives to some of the painful memory that you may have from needles, or pressing a machine against your body, or maybe for a lot of men, the embarrassment of the intimate DRE, the digital rectal examination. So I want to get right into it with starting off with the non-compression mammograms. Now, the non progressive mammograms. This is real important for you to know. I'll see if I can bring this up for you so that you can see some of the changes that we have now. I think, yeah, there you go. Okay. And I'm going to bring this back up there. I think you should be able to see that right now. Is that coming through for you, Karen? Okay. So the mammograms now, many people, grown women, and guess what? Men also get breast cancer. So there's sometimes, if there's any doubt about whether or not a man is on his way to having it, he's doing things, or something is happening in his body that may spell out, or may underline some of the things that he can do to avoid any pain or the spread of cancer, so forth. But the technologies like the breast CT exam, it offers a true 3D low dose breast screening that actually eliminates the painful compressions. Low dose just simply means that the radiation that so many people dread, and you can't blame a person for not wanting radiation in the body. However, there are small doses. Remember that practically anything that you overdo can be hazardous to your body. So we're talking about a low dose, and this should make you a little more comfortable. If you overdo it with low dose, then you'll end up having high doses, and you'll get the unwanted result. This innovation actually aims to improve the cancer detection rates while enhancing patient comfort. And when you are afraid, if you're iotropistic, meaning you have that white coat fear, or somebody with a stethoscope around their neck, and you're just like, oh, I'm afraid, and or you may have built up phobias about syringes. It goes on and on. But know now that we are having a wonderful time, and well, I wouldn't say one like we're partying, but we do have a wonderful list of things that we can do now. We have alternatives. The other latest medical examination are the robotic, the robotic, I guess the invention of the robot, but they also, some of the researchers that have developed the ultra sensitive robotic finger, designed to perform the routine of physical examinations with minimal discomfort. Now, this finger right here is this is what you would think about when it comes to a robot, but there are other things like this. This is what it actually will look like. This is like some of the prototypes, and we have a lot of work, a lot more to go with that, because there's a lot of sensitivities, a lot of things that we just have to discover about the robotic physical examinations. But while we're there, remember the digital rectal examination. Some doctors don't use that technique at all. And there are other optional techniques. The robotic finger, which may be able to detect if there's cancer in your prostate, and other things that these wonderful inventions will help you to heal and to live of the fullest life possible. Then for women, the cervical cancer screening innovations, this is a new method that allows women to collect their own cervical samples using a specialized swab similar to the Q-tip, making the process painless and more accessible. So this is a cervical right here. There you go. And this is really great to know because many women complained about the pressing of their and how uncomfortable they were with their breasts being pressed. And that is not today. Today, there's more um, uh, gentle ways to approach it, where it's not a lot of pain during the examination. Okay, next, what we have here, if I can find it, we also have the stomach. We need to talk about something that is, okay, yeah, here we have it. Oh, okay, let's go to the stomach. Okay, here. All right. Well, we don't have the photo of that, the stomach I see on here, but the AI capsule for the stomach exams. That's what is very, very. Let me see if I can go here. There, there we go. Okay, so there we have it here. I'm going to go here. Now we were just talking about the stomach, and on here, on when we're talking about the stomach, this is also super important because of the use of the stomach and all the things that we do, those things that are primarily important for digestion. So this is very, very important here. The AI powered capsule actually, it can is this was developed in China, by the way, and it can actually scan in just like 8 minutes, providing a completely painless and tube free alternative to traditional examinations. So when you think about your stomach and you think about, there's all these different types of techniques, and some of the techniques are outdated. So keep that in mind because if you can see this particular photo, look at this hospital bed. This is one of the brand new uh, uh, equipment. I got to slow down my thinking so I don't sound like I'm slurring or something. But this is the equipment of today and tomorrow. So this is why we're showing this to you. And keep in mind that you don't have to suffer, or you don't have to go somewhere where you're going to feel like you're going to have a whole lot of pain. The robotic finger that I showed you earlier, this is something that has been worked on for a few years now, and you'll see more and more people that are finding out, or they're wanting to use the robotic hand You see that the cars are changing with no drivers. You see that we have like the fastest trans systems now. You see, and I mean transportation, and we have many things that are changing. So, again, whatever you get out of what I'm saying today, the main thing is if you haven't been going to get that examination, this is the time to go do it. Is very important because it really makes a difference, especially like when we're talking about changing to make things like a little easier for you. Um, Let me see here. Kara, what do you see up in the? Uh, oh, okay. All right, good. Let's go ahead and I'm going to read from here so everybody can read along with it. So these fingers are diagnostic tools that's used to learn all sorts of things about you and your health. Now, fingers are used by medical professionals to, for example, take your pulse, to feel around your abnormal lumps in tissue under the skin, and they're inserted into well dark, warm places for diagnostic purposes. Now, the researchers from the Department of Precision Machinery and Precision Instrumentation at the University of Science and Technology in China have created a human inspired bendable robot finger to perform the routine medical examinations like those listed earlier, and that's why we can also have machines that's not sleeping on the job. There's been a lot of mistakes that's made, and especially doing like surgery and other things that may be looked over. Some of the things that we make a mistake doing, we can now have a more trustworthy robotic approach, but that includes like things like palpitation. Muscle palpitation has attracted the intense attention in research community, and given the complexities that the human hand, even the most advanced robotic hands, are still well behind in matching its capabilities. So to the USTC team to achieve comparable to human tactile sensing and palpation is now feeling about the abnormalities and the proprioception, which is all of that just means the ability to sense the movement and location of our body parts. And this is real. This is changing. So don't be left out of the changes that are being made in the hospital now. The changes that are being made in urgent care centers is all doing we're discovering these things so that we can become more reliant on things that we have tested well, things that are working for us well, and that remains very, very important. Okay, so now let's go to the next thing we'll be talking about. We'll take a break for a second here, just a real fast one, because I want to make sure that I stay aligned with care with our guests coming on. Please use the comments, and Carrie tell you more about that. Now, I'm going to go here. I want to add to our presentation so you can just read along with us some of the things that we should keep in mind as we continue to grow in nutrition science. Okay, so Carrie, you should see right now fruit and vegetables. All right. Beautiful. All right. So, um, only this is where this is important is that, like knowing that we have in our bodies the capabilities to, or the ability to break down foods. And then from those foods, we get the natural nutrients that each one of these wonderful fruit and vegetable um, uh, pieces here as a form of healthy food. Some of the things that you should add to your the information that you have for different fruit and vegetables. Some of the things like alpha carotene and beta carotene. That's in some of the fruit and vegetables that I just showed you. And this is some of this is beta carotene. All the green stuff that you see here in some form of chlorophyll, but it's also another, you can extract lutein. Lutein is super important. You probably don't hear much about lutein, but it is important. It's in all green vegetables. And vegetables are those edible uh, plants that do not have seeds. So the technical definition would be of a piece of fruit would be those edible plants that have seeds. As we continue here, lycopene comes up next because lycopene again are those red foods that you see here in the different fruit. You see that orange. You see that wonderful. That's some of the beta and alpha carotene. But like in watermelon and like in papaya and like in other different fruits, you're going to have that wonderful um, nutrient or nutrients that come from those foods. Then you have a few things that I'll just talk about very briefly, and that is that we all need a dietary fiber. Now, dietary and soluble, along with the beta glucan, these are different types of dietary fiber. The insoluble actually reduces the breast or colon cancer. The beta glucan reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease and protect against heart disease and some cancers. It also lowers LDL. You remember that, the low density lipoprotein, and total cholesterol. Then you have that third kind, which is called the soluble. Soluble, you can find that, for instance, in psyllium husk. And this soluble fiber actually reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease. It protects against heart disease and some cancers. Okay. Remember, cancer comes in a variety. There's not just one type. The entire body is in the cells. Therefore, the cells are everywhere. So you can actually have some kind of cancer spread to any part of the body. Now, fatty acids, long chain, we won't go over long chain and short chain, and DHA and EPA, all of those things. We just know that there are certain oils that are better for us to consume than other oils. And just remember this: polyunsaturated oil, and we have another oil which is a mono unsaturated oil. So look for those first. That's your homework. Conjugated linolenic acid or linoleic acid and oleic acids, all of those, look those up because those can help you tremendously. Then we have catechins that you can find in teas. You have anthocyanins. You have also the anthocyanidins, and all of these are polyphenols, or these are some of the healthy nutrients that we'll find in fruit, tea, vegetables, seeds, and these particular food groups are very healthy to maintain our health. Now, some of the things that I also want to definitely make you aware of are the ligands, or the flax and rye and vegetables. Ligands actually, they help to prevent cancer and renal failure. So this is also what this is. These are the things that you need to know. Knowledge isn't the answer to the end of disease, but having the knowledge that you can put into motion, like your exercise, like your rest, like making sure that you stop for a minute, stop everything, and sit down and write down your plan for eating healthy foods. It seems to be easy enough, but if you are stuck in not doing things, then you pretty much don't even depend on yourself to get it done. But get it done. Just do it. Just do it. Now, some of the things also that you want to look at are some of the myths. There are still myths. I don't care. People are looking at other things. Oh, I need to get a body flush. I need fat flush. I need um, a they'll say things like they detox. I need to cleanse my system. When indeed, practically everything that I've said is usually addressed by laxatives. So people are taking laxatives or eating something that will make their bowels move, and they're feeling like, "Ooh, I'm clean. I just ran off, like you having diarrhea effects," and people really feel like, "Ooh, I can start all over." So they also do this for the purpose for fasting. Now, fasting is a more of a religious choice. This is something that you believe in. Fasting used for weight loss, and fasting used for other things, maybe for the balancing out of your energy. All of this is really something that people have chosen so that they can feel that they're cleaner. They can feel that they're starting all over. They can feel like they're doing the right thing, when in fact, fasting can give you some of the benefits that I talked about, but when it really gets down to it, it's about what is going on in your mind, in your heart, about what you believe. And that's why different fasts, like the Lent fast, like Ramadan, and so forth. These different fasts are definitely very important to those people that believe that it's a part of being closer to God, being more attentive to those things that you want to do to keep you in line with what you believe. So it's beautiful when you are doing it for all the right reasons. Now, some of the myths, we know that the things that, for instance, that cause cancer are stress, burnt food, and mobile phones. So your cell phone is one of the myths, is that your cell phone, although a lot of people have changed, I know I have, I don't put the energy right up to my head, like the cell phone right in, like you're doing an old fashioned phone handle. I don't do that because there's energy between me and that phone in some kind of way, and I don't ever want that to interfere with the function of my brain. That's me. You might say, "Oh, ain't nothing, man. Like, you can't see nothing. Ain't nothing happening." Well, to each his own. Next, the proven risk. The proven risk really, this just means that there is evidence for each one of these to cause cancer. First, the ultraviolet rays, then there's smoking, alcohol, processed and ultra processed meat, and obesity. Now let's start with obesity because in the Black community we have over half of the population of Black women are obese. So we need to um, um, look at it. Well, I'm including people that are overweight too, because it's usually when you look at people that are overweight within that class, there are people that are also obese. You don't have to be, and you don't have to be sick even if you're overweight. It's just about making sure that you're eating these portions that don't overdo it. If you find yourself eating very rapidly and you're drooling with enzymes all in your mouth, ready to bite into something, you are definitely in need of attention to that problem because, or that habit, because it gets worse. And if you don't address it, it can work against you. Now, the common misconceptions of cooking and digesting, one of the common misconceptions is that raw food is always better for digestion than cooked food. While some raw foods, such as the fruits and vegetables, can be very beneficial for digestion, such or others such as the raw meat and eggs can actually be dangerous to eat due to the risk of bacteria contamination. That's okay. Well, is that better for you? We're just making some adjustments here. I'll know what I'll do. I can shrink it down. Okay, let me see. How about now? Okay. Right. We're just making a few adjustments here. Thank you very much for letting me know. All right. Another common misconception is that adding spices and seasonings can actually be detrimental. People feel that the spices and seasons can cause digestive issues. But again, this is what? When you do too much, when you eat too much. A little black pepper can make some mashed potatoes taste wonderful. Little salt can make it taste wonderful. It's just when you overdo it. That is like when you have salty potatoes, and like you eating some chips or something. That's too much. Now, to help reduce nausea and bloating and some of the things that you experience while these spices are usually very helpful. Ginger has been shown to help reduce nausea and bloating, while turmeric has anti-inflammatory properties that can help with digestive issues such as IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And definitely, these are very painful experiences, and we want to get beyond that. Okay, uh, let's talk a little bit about what are you doing right now with what you're eating. When you chew your food, are you slowing? Are you making sure that you are chewing it to reduce the size of it, to help with the digestive system metabolize the things that you're eating? Cooking the well, I should say maybe raw foods first. When some people feel that when they eat raw foods, the food then travels to the body or the stomach, where it is mixed with stomach acid and the different types of hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and so forth. And that's why we also have fruit with papain, and we have bromelain, all of these different types of enzymes to further break it down, to break down the food. And finally, we have the duodenum, or the small intestine. It absorbs the nutrients from the food into the bloodstream. Now, cooking, on the other hand, because everybody cooks practically every day, or at least they like to eat cooked food on a daily basis. Well, it's the process of applying heat to food and to make it safer or more appealing and easier to digest. So the number one thing again I want you to keep in mind is that that heat helps to kill a lot of the bacteria, and it can be harmful bacteria and parasites that may be present in the raw food, like especially like steaks and the different meat, and you got your chicken, fish, you have your steak. All of those things are um possibly carriers of harmful bacteria. Oh, pig's feet. All right, there we go. well, well, yeah, pork is really bad, and then you have. I'm going to come back up to the front because we need to discuss this. And we have Kara. Come on up with me.
Yes.
Okay. And for like one, what were you saying? The pork and what else would be?
As far as I mean, that was one of the things that I remember. I remember when my mom used to would make pigtails, and it would be something where we would end up like if it was something in the trash and you'd see it in the trash, and then there are a lot of is it termites? Yeah, that you will see. You know, if the like pigtail is like thrown away or if it's like in the trash long or something like that. So you
Uh,
have to wonder where's that coming from, So when you mentioned that, that's what I thought of, like pigtail or like pork in general.
yeah, it's like oxtails, cow tongue. They call them the bull's testicles, or you have that. You have also the different types of birds, and look at what a bird does. If you look at things such as um, people love chicken, but chicken is actually a rodent. It's actually pecking off like the manure that a cow is dropping on the land, and is that's how it does a lot of the reseeding of the plants, wheat and other different tall grasses and other seeds that keep in exchange for the chickens out there planting. The cows also eat, of course, so that they'll extend their life because their life depends on eating just like ours. So, all of these are just very important things to know.
Hmm.
And it also gives us a little bit of challenge too, because when people like, just like me, when I hear you say pigtails and all that, I'm making faces and all that, but that's just from habit. As soon as I'm like, yeah, that's no good for you. But
Hmm.
I'm there with you because my family ate the same way too.
Yes.
With all of that is survival eating. Those are slave foods.
Hmm.
All of that is to live and to make it to the next day thinking. So that survival mode, it allows us to pretty much choose whatever it is that's edible, and some stuff that are terrible that shouldn't ever be eaten. But again, when you're in the survival mode, those are things that you can expect.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, exactly. That's and I've heard you talk about even like with your last book, Slaves of the Tongue. It's given information on things where it's like old information that stuff that you would want, like you said, when there's survival going on, when there's nothing else to eat but that that is when you're gonna
Yeah.
things. But some people, like you say, or the culture is holding on to those things because you've talked about nostalgia as well, right? The way people eat and the way the foods that you eat reminds you of when you used to be at grandma's house, and when you used to be playing in the backyard and she'll call you in, come on kids, food is ready, that whole thing. has a lot to do with holding on to the way that we used to eat.
That's right. Absolutely. And along with, you better eat everything on that plate. We're not throwing away anything,
Yes.
because this was so hard to get. And when people are struggling, or they're in a struggle state, or they're again in that state of mind where it's survival,
Hmm.
people are apt to eat anything. But the problem that I have with that is that there are people that are multi-millionaires, and for all I know, billionaires, that still eat that way. And they still, if you're eating soul food, the so-called soul food, you're still eating that way. Now I know through the genius and the creativity, black folks are on the top of the list. We can do some incredible things. That's how we took the food in as we were slaves. That's how we do it now, because now some people getting it all twisted. They think just because they eat soul food that they're more black. Soul food don't make you blacker. The soul food is just at a point where you can, if you do eat it, just like a delicacy. It's not every day.
Yes.
It is spread out. I don't want you to think that I think that if you eat an oxtail that you're gonna die right after the meal or during the meal. This is sometimes that thought or that feeling may be worth it to somebody, to feel cozy and to be around uncle and aunt and grandma and mom and dad and brother and sister. It may be that way, but again, even those reunions they are what, periodically.
Hmm.
They're not. We having we getting together every week now. That's overdoing it. Nobody would make it through that because they'll be all tired of seeing each other. It wouldn't be anything special. I remember looking at. I think it was the vampire
In Brooklyn.
in Brooklyn. It's in Brooklyn, and I remember Eddie Murphy saying, "What would be a sunshiny day if every day was sunshiny?"
Hmm.
And that is well, it's a good movie for one thing. I like it. It's crazy, but the thing that is very, that I mean, that's the truth. When you see somebody too much, there's nothing special about them. It's good to put space between times. People,
Yes.
even when people live together, it's good for that another person go and visit with your friends, and you go to see your cousins and your aunts and so forth. It's a good thing. Some people, no, I'll make sure you know, uh, those are again that struggle belief for some reason to feel that what they have is in danger of being taken away from them, or that kind of stuff. To me, is not even worth the headache.
Hmm. Right. Exactly. Can I go ahead? I'm going to go ahead and shout out some people. Do I have time?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's see here. Jonathan Blakely says, "Good morning, Doc. Keep up the good work."
Hey, Jonathan. I'm sorry. This brother. He and I, we go so far back. We were running for the um, homecoming king.
High school.
Yeah, in high school. Yeah, Jonathan Blake is a tall, very handsome brother, and very, very kind, and very peaceful man. From what I can remember, I know what he grew into. We were children then, but thank you so much for keeping in contact, John Blakely. Everybody.
And then we have here Holland. Says, "You made me think I got to see about my insurance before I get home. Before I get home, get a checkup on colon, etc. Good day to you. Um, good day to you."
Thank you, my brother. That's, man, going out to a brotherly hug, brother. Thank you so much. because that's you may be saving your life. And then of course you can tell people what you did to save your life, and we can keep it going.
Hmm.
But my brother Ozzy, thank you so much for doing that, because that tells me that you're listening and you're going to act on it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good morning. Good morning to you, Denise Kane. Happy to see you. Hello, hello to you.
Hey Denise, it's
Yeah,
good to see you.
yes. Yolanda Rogers says, "Wow, technology has really changed for the better." And I remember that actually that the 3D mammogram, that was something that I remember they had, when I was going to get my checkup and everything, and I paid a little extra for it, but it was something where it gets more in depth, and it's no additional radiation that they're using. So I
Right.
thought it was a good step towards being even more precise with your checkup.
Examinations, yeah.
Yes. Dr. James Thompson says, "Good morning. Good morning to you. Hello, hello."
Good morning, Dr. James. And everybody remember on the 21st of March, that's a Saturday at 8 a.m., Dr. James will be here to talk to us about some wonderful, we're going to talk about cravings, but we also, um, James is also his specialty is allergies, and perhaps we'll have enough time to talk about those issues that you may be having pertaining to that.
Right.
Okay, Dr. James.
And there was something that he mentioned as far as when you said cleaning the plate. He says a couple or more generations ago, the plates weren't so full, and
Yeah.
the food was not as abundant. So clearing the plate was more important than important and meaningful.
Yes. Exactly. That's a really good point. That a lot of things have changed. One of the things that seems to be still sturdy, that people feel guilty if they don't eat everything on their plate. Whereas I've taught my children over time to slow down. That's one of the things, because usually children can't wait to get back to the game or go back outside, these kind of things.
Hmm.
Set it up where after they ate, they knew that we'll sit down for a minute, we'll have maybe some dessert or something, but then it's chores. So I put them in the mind of getting things done, movement, not just sitting down and getting the remote. And that's really worth every moment of your time to make sure that you rectify that habit before it gets too ingrained.
Absolutely. And there's one more comment here that Dr. James made that I think is very important. He said, "You didn't tell us who won Homecoming King."
You right, I did. Yeah, I did. Hey, Dr. James, man, I this was cool because what I did is like I was very popular. I was when I was graduating, which was 1973. Um, I graduated actually earlier than that, but I wanted to do something, because after you get out of school and you don't have any parents there or just your mom there, you like, what I'm going to do with all this time? So, you know, that's another story. But nevertheless, I had everybody in the ROTC. I had everybody, all the girls that are in on the majorettes, all the cheer team. I had all of the teachers' aides, everybody. I made sure I went in that gymnasium, and it was about 1,500 people in that bad boy. And I was telling everybody, don't make a real big splash when John when Jonathan Blakely comes out. I said, make a big splash for me. Love you, John. So,
That's strategy, right?
yeah, I was, 15 years old, and and I went and I did that, and I had on this hat. I had a cream suit on. I had my heels. That's when those heels was a little. I didn't ever wear platforms, but the heels were a little thicker and bigger, and I had on my stuff, and I walked out and say, "Now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Here he is, the next, maybe the next, you know." And then, ladies and gentlemen, bam, and I came out, dun dun. I was like, "Hey." I mean, it was so overwhelming that I didn't do the full circle. I just did like that, and I took off my hat, and the girls were going crazy. They were going crazy. But when we got back out in the hall, everybody was saying, "Hey, how you doing? Good." Y'all was screaming, you know. But yeah, that was fun. Thanks for asking, and I get a chance to.
Thanks for sharing. All right.
I love you, John. Yeah. So the other things that we want to keep in mind too, I want to go back and talk about a few things here because the cooking and the digestion of foods and raw foods and cooked foods, you know, what's the whole deal about that? So let's first of all, like cooking. Cooking is super important because of the heat that's applied to the meat. However, again, if you overdo it, you can cause problems like trans fats, for instance, is one thing. Another thing is that you can produce some of the acrylamide. Acrylamide, you know, that when you talk about producing different substances that can be potentially cancerous. You also will hear other words that may describe dangerous substances on food, and pay attention to that because it may be something that you, after knowing about it, you don't want to do that. Cooking also has negative effects on your nutritional value of food. For instance, if you cook it too much, there's nothing there. You know, for instance, broccoli. Broccoli, when you steam it, is to make it nice and, you know, a nice texture where you can bite into it. It's nice and soft. You got like a little veggie butter on it. Good. But if you cook it until it's just some green mush, then I'm sure that most likely everything that was good, like your vitamins and minerals, they could be lost during your cooking process, especially if the food is overcooked or boiled too long. And this is one of the things that I think uh, Yolanda Rogers, a big mama as we lovingly call her, she can also expand on these things too because Yolanda lost, I think, over 60 pounds in I think it was uh, last year. It might have been a year before last because time goes by fast, but she changed some of the things that she liked to do. She gave up those things that sometimes was just fun to do so that she'll get a healthier body. You know, the way that we cook the food can also affect our health. For example, frying can increase the amount of unhealthy fats and calories, while grilling or roasting can be a healthier option. Of course, you don't want the fire touching the meat. You don't want the fire touching the food because it's usually how we form certain unhealthy substances on the food. It is important to consider the cooking method when making your food choices for a healthier diet, which includes oils. The different oil that you put in your body, the polyunsaturated and the monounsaturated oils when it comes to avocado oil. And there's coconut oil. People ask me about that. Why is it different than all the other oils if it's saturated? Well, it is, I would say, saturated, but is the what makes it different in here is the lauric acid. And look up lauric acid because it'll give you more understanding about why coconut oil can be used on your hair, your face, your skin, your toes, your heels, your fingers, everything. And it can also be used to prepare your meal with. Very wonderful combination. Now, how cooking affects the nutritional value of food, that cooking can actually improve your nutritional value of some foods. For example, cooking tomatoes can increase the availability of the antioxidant lycopene. We talked about lycopene earlier. Especially my brothers, look, you got to do something about that. You got to act on this. You should not be doing just the same thing that you were doing 4 or 5 years ago when we started. You should have some kind, by now you could have been in, gotten some reward, which we're going to work on later, some kind of award that we can give to people that have acquired certain levels of better health. It's important to note that the cooking method used can also impact the nutritional value of food. For instance, steaming or roasting vegetables can help retain more nutrients compared to boiling or frying. Additionally, the cooking with certain oils and fats can also affect the nutritional value of food. For example, using olive oil instead of butter can increase the amount of healthy monounsaturated fats in a dish. So these are the things that we want to share. And remember, these are things that have been proven. We're not just making things up. This is backed by science. What does that mean? It means that we have receipts, we have evidence. And you, by the way, if anything that you hear me say that you're like, no, I don't think so, check it out. Check it out because it's something that I want you to understand through your even your being pessimistic. That's fine with me. Defensive. That's fine with me. But understand how it works. If we say like according to the references or according to the information or according to the studies, that's what we want you. Not just your mm, beliefs, not just your opinion, we what and how can you prove that? And that's what's very, very important. You got to have receipts. Okay, we are looking good, and we're getting a lot of stuff done here. I wanted to ask a question. I mean, answer a question. Does cooking make food easy to digest? And how I answer this is digestion is a complex process that occurs in our bodies every day. That's what's going on constantly, allowing us to break down the food that we eat into nutrients that our bodies can use. And I just went over that. It's good to hear it over and over because repetition is the master of study. Those are the things that you commit to your memory. But does the cooking make food easier to digest? Let's explore the science behind digestion, cooking, and the relationship to each other. First, we start with processed foods. Now, processed foods are generally thought to be inferior to unprocessed food. Now, the term may suggest that a packaged food item contains many ingredients, perhaps even artificial colors, flavors, and other chemical additives, often referred to as convenience or pre prepared foods. Their processed foods are suggested to contribute to the obesity epidemic and the rising of the prevalence of chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes. However, the definition of processed food varies widely depending on the source. And the source that I'm reading from now is USDA, and that's the United States Department of Agriculture. We'll get into that later on because there are a lot. I said acrylamide again. I want you to know what I mean when I say what I say. So let's break down or define acrylamide for you. Acrylamide is actually eating foods high in acrylamide, like toast, charred root, vegetables, and roasted potatoes. They will not increase your risk of cancer. We want to get that out of the way. Again, toast, charred root, vegetables, and roasted potatoes. They will not increase your risk of cancer. Acrylamide can be found in starchy food that's been cooked at high temperatures. This is important. You see, at home, we cook between maybe 140 to about 200 degrees on the top of the stove. In the oven, we get a little higher. We go from maybe 300 up to, let's say, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. But when you eat out and you order pizza and you order the different types of food, that I won't put anybody certain type on blast. I don't mean to cut into anybody's salary. I just want you to know this is what is available and you can now make an informed decision. That means you can say no to things that can be very harmful. So acrylamide again can be found in the starchy foods that's been cooked at high temperatures. Your overall diet, what you eat and what you drink every day is more important than the individual foods for reducing your cancer risk. So again, what is acrylamide? Acrylamide is a chemical that's found in starchy foods like bread and potatoes. Now, if they're cooked at high temperatures for a long time, you may have this problem. But remember, again, is what everybody? I can hear you. Right. Don't overdo it. This includes baking, barbecuing, frying, grilling, toasting, and roasting. You can also find it in other foods such as biscuits and coffee. Uh, that's going to do it for us for today. I can go on and on. I thank you for being here. I think we got a lot taken care of today. The main thing that I want you to leave with is the action, the commitment to do something about what you just heard and pass the word. We thrive off of your commitments to us every Saturday at 8 a.m. Please become a follower or a member. We'll have membership coming up real soon. We're working on that so that you'll be able to access the kind of knowledge that is very helpful to you. So we are definitely happy to have Dr. James here. Even in the audience, he's powerful. Um, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Dr. James is really, as you know, I talk about him in every show, and with good, very, very, um, just wonderful things to say because brilliance is something that he has, and sharing that brilliance is really remarkable because that is like the optimum choice for things. Thank you very much, Gary. If it isn't anything else, why don't you go ahead and sign off? I see my dear sister, Michelle, is here. Michelle in the house. She's well. Go ahead, do your thing. Because
I was just gonna have you go ahead, go ahead, but no, that's fine. Again, thank you all. Like Dr. Zarif mentioned, thank you all so much for for being here. We live streamed earlier, or live stream now on Facebook and YouTube. Instagram, it was down. So if you came over from Instagram, if you're usually on Instagram, thank you so much for that. That's why we give multiple platforms because you never know which one may have technical difficulties. But thank you all so much. Again, like Dr. Zarif mentioned, 8 a.m. every Saturday, 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Pacific time, every Saturday. And remember to, what is it? Spring forward tomorrow. You're going to spring forward 1 hour on your clock. So don't forget to do that. But Dr. Zarif, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
all right. Pick out something that I said today, whether it is you're going to reduce or get rid of or cancel out those fried foods. If you love fried foods, that's going to be very difficult, but start moving on that. If you're just drinking sugary fruit juices and no dilution to those fruit juices, that can also be hazardous to your health. Remember SOS, the salt, the oil, and sugar. You want to make sure you reduce on all three accounts and make sure that you are making good choices to replace those things. Okay. Carrie, my dear, hey, yeah, I see you, Carrie, and I know that you're in San Diego. We're not going to be able to make it there, but I'm so glad. I'm going to call you later on. So thank you so much, Carrie. Good to see you. Yeah, so everybody back to like the food. Remember, you want to reduce frying. If that might be something that, what area can you improve on? Is it sweets that you're eating all the time? Is it drinking these different plant drinks that have a lot of sugar in them? What is it? Dairy products, you want to stop, instead of making an 8 egg omelet, you can make a 2 egg omelet. Start cutting back. Do all that you can to be as healthy as you can. Thank you very much for joining us today. We definitely respect you and really thank you for being here. I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist.